Waking up every morning and feeling like I don't want to get out of bed is not a feeling that empowers you.
Once we get onto this medication, I'll have to go on taking.
Whenever I get angry, my mother will say, "Dawai liya kya?"
Depression is not the only issue. Who should they go to first? Should it be a psychologist or a psychiatrist?
WHO has found out that India has got more than 200 million people who are depressed in India, which means 1 out of every 6.
That is enough.
1 out of every 6 is a huge number.
So that
what they
means-
say is that almost everybody will either go through it or will know somebody who has gone through it.
Yes.
Now, when it is so pervasive, we still want to deny. Why? Because in our society, this stigma is most important.
But the mental issues, depression is not the only issue.
This will be recognized by mental health professionals, but there are, and a very good point, there are several mental health issues. One is a very common one, like depression, is also anxiety disorder. No, lots of people have got what is called panic attacks, and they get palpitations, they are sweating, they become very restless, they can't cope, stomach problems, etc. All because of anxiety, which is becoming very, very common. That's another mental health issue. No, there are
Anger.
also
Anger.
and saying not being able to tolerate your anger, outbursts are regular, and saying just getting violent, etc. That's another thing. There are personality disorders. For example, a very rigid personality, no matter how much you try to make a person understand, it's a fixed mind and the person doesn't want to look in any other way. So there are plenty of these things. There is obsessive compulsive disorder.
OCD,
People get, caught up with something and continuously those particular thoughts keep coming and those particular repeated actions go on. So there are so many of these mental disorders. People are not aware. When they talk about mental health, they think there's only depression.
Yes.
So can you please elaborate the side effects, because there's a lot of in India the mindset is that it has a lot of side effects.
There are lots of myths surrounding medication.
Yeah.
Alters the
So-
mind.
When we talk about medications, the first thing that comes up from most patients is side effects ka kya? And I always tell them कि पहले effect देखते हैं, right? Because it is not possible that we will continue a medication for a long period of time without any effect, right? So if somebody is coming to me with a concern that my mood is low, my energy is low, I don't feel like talking to people, my first goal would be to give a medication that would help improve all of this, right?
Okay.
So I always encourage my patients to look at the effect versus the side effect, right? So if you're taking a medication and you just focus on the side effects, then that doesn't make sense.
Right.
If you're taking a crocin, you are exposing yourself to acidity. But why are you taking the crocin? So that the fever comes under control.
Right.
So it's the same with mental health.
Okay.
Why are you taking a medicine for depression? Because living with depression is extensively debilitating.
Right.
Waking up every morning and feeling like I don't want to get out of bed is not a feeling that empowers you to, run through the day.
Right.
So the medication has to have an effect on reducing these symptoms. So that's the first thing that we see, that whether the medicine is having an effect or not. So they are able to quantify it because they always come with ye side effect hu. And then I have to bring them back to effect. Let's see what effect, and then let's see the side effect. The side effects are important because they help me fine tune the medicines. But effect is also equally important. So.
But why people are not concerned about side effects of other medicines like for cold, for fever, whatever, like crocin you said? Why there is a bigger talk about this, especially this psychiatrist का pills में side effects आता है? Why such ऐसा क्यों mindset है लोगों का?
Right. So I think one of the reasons for it is because when psychiatry started with medical treatment, there were medications that would work on the brain as a whole, which would make the patient very drowsy.
Okay.
And often there would be times when the patient would become very stiff, and so they would feel like I'm feeling like a zombie on the medication.
Okay.
And this is a common complaint that a lot of people come to me कि I don't want to become a zombie after starting medications. मुझे ये नहीं चाहिए.
Right.
So it is, it takes us some time to explain to them that the medications now are not like that anymore. There are specific medications which can be given according to the time of the day. Like if the patient has insomnia as a complaint, then there are medications which can help with sleep.
Okay.
And if the several patients come with I don't have any sleep problem. I'm just not able to function through the day. So
Okay.
then there are medications which can be given in the day,
Okay.
which can help them stay more alert, stay more focused, feel more energetic.
Okay.
So this kind of shift in the treatment in psychiatry has happened over the last 20 years.
Okay.
But I think awareness about it is not yet
Not yet.
there.
So people are still stuck to that initial, yeah.
So another myth is in saying that once we get onto this medication, I'll have to go on taking this
Yes,
medication,
yes.
which is not true.
okay.
Which is
Can be
not
weaned
true.
off.
Really,
Okay.
I'm saying it can be, and you must be weaned off gradually.
Right.
But then it's a process of taking it, increasing it to the level that you require, and then slowly weaning off. No?
I get patients who come to me and say, कि now whenever I get angry, my mother will say, दवाई लिया क्या? वापस तो नहीं शुरू हुआ? You know, that kind of a thing, which is like every behavior is then attributed to
That's
the
a
mental
stigma
illness,
in itself.
which itself puts people off. कि I don't want to tell people that I'm taking medicine because then एक बार भी कुछ गड़बड़ हो गया तो they will say कि दवाई नहीं
The
ली.
patient himself or herself might feel कि मेरे को एक बार हो चुका है,
Correct.
वापस हो रहा है.
Kind of waiting कि हाँ. If someone feels the need for help from a mental health professional, who should they go to first? Should it be a psychologist or a psychiatrist?
So honestly, the order doesn't matter, right? You can reach out to any mental health professional, whether it is a psychologist, whether it is a psychiatrist, and help will be offered, right? So we start with reaching out if we are going through distress, and the intensity of the distress decides which professional will see. So if in case you reach out to a psychologist and the psychologist feels that the symptoms are too distressing for you to be managed by only counseling, they would refer you to a psychiatrist and vice versa. I've had patients coming to me who say that they're starting to get a lot of negative thoughts. It's still not affecting their day-to-day routine, or they're not suffering from sleep deprivation, or they're able to manage their daily functioning at an adequate level. I would encourage them to reach out for therapy and not start with medications right at the beginning. But if there are distressing symptoms like they're not able to function properly at work, their focus is affected, or their sleep and appetite has been disturbed, or they're having some severe concerns like death wishes or suicidal ideas, then I would definitely insist that they consider medications first. So it would really depend on the intensity of the symptoms rather than on which professional you're reaching out to first.
So does that mean that it's the intensity of the problem which decides whether you go to one psychologist or psychiatrist?
Absolutely. The intensity and the amount of your functioning that is impaired. So
What
if
happens
there
is when somebody comes for counseling, if the person is very intensely affected, like intensely depressed, no matter how much as a psychologist I talk, is not going to help.
Okay.
Because the person is in a totally different state of mind. And therefore, medication is necessary to bring down that intensity in order that we can really interact with each other.
Receptive.
But doesn't it, like supposing I can't wake up in the morning, so for all these little things, should one just go to the psychiatrist or work on oneself? No, one has to have a strong will and
Yes.
let me try that first. And if I'm not able to, if I feel like I can't handle it, that's the time I need to go for this.
So at what point do you decide
Yes, that is the
that
major.
when do I go for
Yes.
help? So one parameter that you could use is to see whether you are functioning on more days in the week than the rest. If there are 7 days in a week, at least 4 or 5 days I'm functioning to the capacity that I should. But there are people who are not even able to do that, and that could be one indicator that I need to reach out for help. The second thing could be if you're trying a strategy, like for example, I'm not able to wake up in the morning, okay? And I give myself 3 months or 6 months, so let me put a time frame to it, yeah? It cannot be that for last 5 years I have not been able to wake up in the morning, because that's often the way people come to us. That when you ask them कि कितने टाइम से नींद बराबर नहीं है, लगभग 5-6 साल से ऐसे हो रहा है. And the concern is that they have reached out when it has reached such a severe point where they can't see any other way forward.
So when they diagnose this thing, anybody, either a psychiatrist or a counselor, when he diagnoses this thing, these symptoms have to be seen for a period of time, at least 6 weeks. This person has to be like this, not able to sleep, feeling very low, unable to function on a normal basis, and this continues for a period of time. Others, I'm saying everybody feels a little low sometimes. Everybody feels anxious for some time. We talk and we diagnose as depressed or general anxiety disorder when this whole thing goes on for at least 5 to 6 weeks continuously.
Maximum 6 weeks. Maximum.
Yeah, 4 6 weeks continuously.
Consistent. Okay.
Minimum is 2 weeks.
2 weeks.
At least 2 weeks the person should
Exactly.
feel like
Exactly. Now my point is, when someone is having fever is not going for a week, then also is okay. He'll keep on taking crocin and medicine. Second week, agar fever nahi gaya, it's not going, then he will go to a doctor. The same thing here is not happening. So to public, my request is please.
Please take help.
This is an illness.
Catch the devil.
Yeah.
Yes.
Before the devil catches you.